Reverend Pinkney.
Reverend Pinkney is here.
You said in person, right?
In person.
That
And
is-
live. And here's the and alive and not in prison. That's the good news.
we're, we're glad that you're getting us off to a big volcanic start. This is Brother Leroy, and this is East Harlem Community Radio. The program is the Wisdom Table, consisting of seniors who are in the process of learning how to run and operate their own talk show. I am the team leader. They're capable and ready, but they didn't get the juice yet. Maybe they'll get it from hearing your voice and your story. Once again, this is the Wisdom Table coming to you from East Harlem Community Radio. El Barrio, East Harlem Radio. The program that you're about to hear does not reflect the views, attitudes, whims, or any other proclivities of the management of this station, nor that of the administration. However, the program does reflect the research done by the participants in the program who are live in living color in studio and by phone interview. And today we are very happy to have a young man who demonstrates the power of one. Whether he started out that way, we don't know until we talk to him. But the power of one, going up against the odds of dealing with a major corporation in America, a city government that was compromised and others, and fought them and has been winning battles ever since he has started out. Now, the way we're going to approach Reverend Pinkney's story, he's from Benton Harbor, by the way, he'll tell you all of that, is by asking him what has he learned, 3 or 4 things that he has learned from his experience in the last 5-7 years that he's been battling the corporation in Benton Harbor. And then we'll go into how he came to those conclusions. So the floor is yours, Reverend Pinkney.
Amen. Thank you so much, Brother Leroy. I tell you, it's an honor to be on your show. I tell you, here's the other good news. It's an honor to be home. And don't have to eat that food. That's the most important thing. But listen, this is, I learned that the charges leveled against me is nothing but the latest saga in a ruthless pursuit of the naked corporate rule that is gripping the state of Michigan. And, I knew that. I knew that it's just another one of their tricks, how they can do things and how they continue to do things. And, and number two, the struggle that has taken place in recent years in Benton Harbor is a case in point, one that holds a number of lessons for all American people. The fight in Benton Harbor is a war. This is not a conflict. It's a war over whether America will have prosperity and democracy or live in poverty under the heels of open corporate rule. And number three, I learned this. I have become the face of resistance, especially here in the city of Benton Harbor. And I teach people that, there is no, the corporate is bound, there's no one that the corporation is bound to respect. And I learned that just by their attack, But the biggest and most important thing was a tremendous victory, another victory. This is my second victory against the government and the corporate power. It exonerated me once again, this time by the Supreme Court, 6-0. And this victory is a giant step towards overturning the spread of corporate dictatorship to the rest of Michigan and the nation. And see, that's what people see. Most times, you get one victory in the I got one in the Court of Appeals when I quoted Deuteronomy 28, starting with the 15th verse, and the judge accused me of threatening his life. He accused me of saying just what the Bible said. Which was simple. It simply said, if you do not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God and do all these things that is right, that these things will come upon you. And the judge, it was in the newspaper. Yeah, I didn't say it to his face. I wrote an article, and he immediately, I mean, they came to my house like gangbusters, like I had actually done something, But see, a lot of stuff that they do is not really designed for me, because they don't scare me. You see, they don't intimidate me, They don't see to, as far as I'm concerned, you got something for me, bring it on. And if one person doing this process, it won't be in vain. And that's how I look at it. And for this judge to tell somebody that a Bible scripture was a threat on his life, he had to be doing something awful terrible. Wow.
So
yeah.
Reverend Pinckney, tell us how it came to the point where you were subsequently arrested. What was the issues? What was going on? What is going on in Benton Harbor?
Oh, let me start at the beginning and tell you how all this came about. We had this puppet mayor, a black guy, which is the shameful part, who was working with the corporations to drive the rest of the black people completely out of the city of Benton Harbor. And we did a recall. See, one thing about a recall, it's one of the most powerful weapons that you can use against a politician. Especially if they think for 1 second that you could be successful. See, a lot of times, people figure that black people don't have the ingenuity, don't have the skills, and the knowledge to be successful. But one thing they knew about me, they knew if I started it, I was going to complete it. Because that's what I do. I recall these elected officials because I hold them accountable for their words, their action, and inaction. I hold them accountable. If you say you're going to do something, then you don't do it, then you got to deal with Reverend Payne. So what happened was, we went out and got signatures to recall the mayor, James Hightower. And we must have gotten in 30 days or so. All the signatures we needed, they knew that was too fast to get the signature. So they scheduled a recall election for May 6th. But here's what they did. They sent the SWAT team. Now listen to what I'm saying, Leroy. They sent a SWAT team to my house for a recall petition of the mayor. Surrounded my house. Surrounded. Had the news media here and everything. Pinckney, I know you in there. Come on out, with your hands up, But here's the thing, Pinckney wasn't at home. Pinckney was in another city taking my wife out for her birthday. We was gone, and I'm taking her to Kalamazoo, which is about 40 minutes. But before I get there, my phone is jumping off the hook, saying, "They're at your house." I said, "Who?" The police. They got the SWAT down there. Who they looking for? They looking for you. I said, "Man, why?" He said, "You should know that." I don't know nothing about this. I didn't have an idea what these folks was looking for me for. I had no idea, And I didn't even tell my wife. I didn't want to spoil her day. We had a nice dinner, and during the process, I went and called my attorney. I went to the bathroom, called my attorney, and told him that, look, they got my house. I don't know what they want or what they did or what I may have done. And so he said, well, you come on down here and let's call them when you get here. So I got there, and they called the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor told them that they had a warrant for my arrest for 5 counts of forgery on the recall petition. So the first thing came out of my mouth, there's no such charge. And he said, well, that's what they charge you. 6 counts of letting the person sign the petition twice. And I said, okay, all right, because I figured, I probably would beat that, So he told the prosecutor that I'll turn myself in on Monday because it was going to be my wife. So, you know, we were going to celebrate that weekend. You know, all that. You know, make sure we had a good time. But they said no, we don't get her or not. Now listen to this. The SWAT team were riding all over the city of Benton Harbor looking for my car. I mean, for a recall petition. A recall petition. It didn't make no sense. You know. And that happened on my wife's birthday. Listen, we had what we call a preliminary hearing. Other people may call things a little bit different, but we have what you call it. They produce evidence. They produce no evidence. Listen to me. I know that your listeners are going to have a problem with this. They produce not one piece of evidence that Reverend Pinckney did something wrong. And the prosecutor got up and said, we don't have any evidence to say he did something, but let's let the jury decide. And the judge agreed with him and said, well, we're going to take it to trial. The trial started on my birthday, October 27th. Now, the SWAT team came on my wife's birthday. But on my birthday, we start the trial. And what they do, now listen to this. They didn't have not one witness. The forensic guy came in and said 2 pens was used on the date. Like, you can't use 2 pens on the date. You know, and then they asked him, my attorney asked him, well, did Pinckney do this? He said, well, I can't say whether Pinckney did it or not. I don't know who did it. The case should have been dismissed then. But absolutely not. This all-white jury that was motivated by something other than the truth came back, found me not guilty on the misdemeanor charges, but found me guilty on the forgery. I had told my attorney this, and they didn't believe me. I said 168.937. That's the what they charged me, the charge they had. I said there's no such charge as forgery on a recall petition, not for Michigan. You can, you can make up one if you want to, I guess, and get away with it, which what they did. But you gotta have the right, charge. And they told, this is what they said. They said, well, it gotta be one, because he wouldn't have charged you with that. I said, he would have charged me with anything if they thought that they was gonna get me. So the judge sentenced me December 15th to up to 10 years in prison. And I kept telling them, I said, look, there's no such charge as this. We appealed it. We went to the Court of Appeals. They said, now listen to this. They said, look, he must have told somebody to do it. Now, there's no evidence to say that Reverend Pinckney told anybody to do anything. But they said, Reverend, you must have told somebody to do it because he's Reverend Pinckney. Like, that's something special or something, And I couldn't figure that out. I said, I mean, I'm just that big of a guy that I can tell somebody to go out and commit a crime and it's going to be all right. And they said 168.937 have to be a forgery charge because the prosecutor would not have charged him if it was not a forgery charge. I thought that don't make no sense. Look it up. So now, everybody's excited. People from all over came. The ACLU, they came in, they all wanted to talk. Everybody wanted to come because they were saying this doesn't make any sense because now they were just out to get Reverend Pinckney. So here's what's happened. I served 30 months in prison. Every minute of it. While I was in there, they was trying to kill me. First thing they did, they put me in an area that was molded. And the mold was eating me up from the inside out. I had lost about 30 pounds. I was, I said to myself, I am not going to die in prison. I'm not going to die in prison. And you can't kill me. I said, if you shot me, I'm not going to die here in prison. because I didn't want to die in prison. So I started working out, having food sent in to me, and got my health back. And then they went after my telephone purchase. They accused me of making a three-way call, knowing that it was not a three-way call. It was not a three-way call. But they found me not guilty of making a three-way call, but they still took the phone away for 180 days. They was out to get me. But here's the kicker. I had a visitor fly in from Detroit. And when he flew in, he was going to write a book about the life and times of Reverend Pink. And, he took a few notes. He got ready to leave. They stopped him. They wanted his notes. He said, well, you gave me permission to come in. He said, no, he didn't. He said, yes, you did. He said, I'm the one who called to talk to you. They said, no. And they weren't going to let him out until he gave up his notes. But in the meantime, they arrested me in prison. Now, they arrested me inside the prison, put me in shackles, took me to the hole, and they wanted me to stay there. And I didn't know once again, I didn't know what the charge was. I didn't know what they was charging me with. Well, about 11 o'clock that night, the lieutenant came by and said, here's the charge. They were charging me with smuggling because they couldn't spell smuggling.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I said smuggling. I saw what they had done. And I said, and I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I kept saying smuggling. I said, I don't know how to smuggle. And I said, okay, now I mean, all good, because I think I got them just where I want them, and they kept me in the hole for about 5 days, 5 straight days, and then all of a sudden they just opened the door and told me to walk back to my own unit without any security. I thought it was a setup. I thought that they was getting ready maybe to shoot me or do something because they were out to get me. But before I could get back to the unit, they called this guy a judge. Yeah, but he's a hearing officer. And they called over the loudspeaker, paint name. That's all you hear. You heard it and everybody found. He was my, they was my boys, and they said, report. The judge want to see you. There ain't no judge want to see me, so I ignore it. I get back to the unit. Here comes 6 armed CEOs in riot gear coming to get me. And they said, the judge want to see you. I said, what judge? There's no judge here to see me, because they said, the hearing officer. I said, well, say that. I don't know nothing about no judge. Say here next time, say, talk prison language. Don't be talking no judge to me, because I really didn't know. I didn't understand what they were saying. So anyway, I get in there. As soon as I walk in there and see the judge, I hit him with a deuce. I knocked his socks off. I said, you got to dismiss this charge. He said, why? He looked at me, he looked at the ticket, he couldn't. I said, because I don't know how to smuggle. He said, smuggle? I said, yeah, smuggle. He said, then he said, smuggle, and then I said, smuggle. I said, they charged me with smuggling. And he looked and he said, show it here. They did charge you with smuggling. And I said, that's why you got to dismiss this charge. He said, he dropped a bomb on me. He said, I don't care nothing about evidence. I don't care what they charge you with. Here in prison, we find you guilty. If you sneeze too loud, we find you guilty here. And I looked at him, I said, he said, I don't rule on evidence. He said, but this is what he said, I don't rule on evidence. I rule on how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I looked him dead in his eye. You know what I told him? I said, you look like you feel pretty good today. And when I said that, he said, yeah, I do feel pretty good. I said, all right. So later on that day, they found me not guilty and of smuggling because I didn't know how to smuggle. You don't know how to smuggle. You're not a smuggler. But anyway, all the CEOs, they was out to get me. They would come in, cut the lights on out. They tried to make me bump into them so they can taser me. They were doing every trick in the book to try to pin my ears back. And I tell you what, when June 13 came, 2017, that was my release day. I was so happy I got out of there. But then, you know, I came home May 1st, 2018. The Supreme Court ruled that there was no such charge as slavery on a recall petition under 168.937. And they ruled 6-0. The only reason it wasn't 7-0, the other guy was ill that day. And believe me, it was one of the biggest moments that a person can have. And it was more of a victory for the people. Because here in Benton Harbor, we don't get that many victories. You know, they're back from all angles. You know, what they're doing to us is first of all, they try to neutralize you, like demoralize you. You can't get anything done here in the city of Benton Harbor, and our city schools just were taken over by a CEO. Now, there's no community in the whole United States that has a CEO running a public school system. But the people accept them for a few dollars underneath the table. They're willing to accept. See, that's what I'm fighting. That's what I'm trying to encourage the people to take a stand against these people. And I want them to know you can win. You see, that's my message. Because I don't believe anybody that's not very many people here in the United States has been to prison twice and won both cases. Won both of them. And that's what I'm telling you. And here's another thing. Our fight is really against Whirlpool Corporation. They are the ones who pulling the strings of all the elected officials here. Unfortunately, all the elected officials are black. But they don't care enough about the people. That's why I recall them. If I tell them I'm going to recall them, they get worried. They know that Pinckney is coming. And I'm home now. and they understand that Pinckney is coming. And I'm coming to straighten out this community to make sure that the people are moved in the right direction. Because I am sick and tired of these people misusing us.
Brother Pinckney, on your Blog Talk broadcast, you talked about at least 9 black men or women bodies being found. Could you elaborate on that? What's the time period?
Absolutely. Well, the first one was in 1994. That was Eric McGinnis. When which is a strange thing. The chief of police today in Benton Harbor was related to him. The only reason we have to include them all because it's unsolved. They claim that, but it ain't funny. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I didn't want to laugh. But they claim that he tried to swim across Lake Michigan. Now, I don't think there's nobody in their right mind would try to swim across Lake Michigan. Nobody. He's a 17-year-old kid. Didn't know how to swim, but gonna swim across Lake Michigan, which is so amazing. It's been eight males and 1 female. One guy. Now listen to this. His name Bulldog, Timothy Bulldog Allen, and he used to help me. He used to go out and pass out flyers for me. You know, whatever I need done, I can always count on him. And I had to force the sheriff department to bring out the cadaver dog to find out where he was located. If he was, they said he walked in the water, which was the biggest light that we want to hear. But our people are not strong enough to understand that it would be virtually impossible for him to have done that. But the last two people who saw him alive was two police officers, which they had the videotape of him talking to the police officers, and then they see him no more. No more. You know, and no investigation, no nothing. They found him with his penis cut off and his brain. But the report was no foul play. That's the bad part. No foul play. Well, it got to be foul play unless he cut his own penis off. You know, maybe he cut his penis off before he died. You know, but according to them, no foul play, which is very disturbing because we as black people, if it's not your family, normally we don't care. We do not care. All this, there's one guy, Dwayne Flowers. Now listen to this. He was found with a rope tied around his leg and cement down in the river. So he tied a rope around his leg, jumped into the water, held himself down, and then drowned. No foul play. Last person seen him alive, police officer. No investigation, no nothing. Michael Williams, that just happened recently. We did a protest of the senior PGA here. We do it every 2 years. And next time we protest. I don't care what it is. We make sure that they know that we're going to be here whether you like or not. We're going to let you know if you don't want to pay taxes in my community, we don't want you in our community. So Michael Williams had been gone for about 2 weeks. The senior PGA had just started. My thoughts is that they found him in the water. They couldn't bring him out, or the white folk would have found out that there's activity like this going on. Maybe would have demanded an investigation, which they don't want to do when it comes to black people. And once again, 2 white police officers was the last to see this man alive. Well, actually, it was a white male and a white woman. Said they the one who made the statement that 2 white police officers saw him last because he was over there to meet them before they left them. And the 2 white police officers picked him up, and he was the last. That was the last they seen of this guy. They found him in the river, dead. No foul play. Don't want to talk about the autopsy. Don't want to do anything in reference to that, which is so amazing. But it gets deeper. We even had someone hung in the jail, like in the old days. It was impossible for this young man to have hung himself. They claimed he hung himself, which I knew him also personally, and he's not that type of a guy. But they said, these are their words, not my words, that he hung himself. So we did a second autopsy and found out that he was beaten. He was beaten. And here's their words. We don't know how well, how come it wasn't revealed in the first autopsy that he had been beaten? How come it wasn't revealed in the first autopsy that he was tasered? How come in the first autopsy that he had broken ribs and it wasn't reported? How come? You know, let us know. That way we'll know that you're on the up and up. So you're proving to us that you're a liar, you know, in reference to this young man. But it gets even better. Then we had a young guy riding a bike. They claim, now listen to this, You know, like in the old West, when the guy ride a horse, they have two guns and they be shooting at the bad guys. This guy was supposed to be riding a bike and having as he rides his bike, he's shooting two guns at the police, and they put about 15 bullets in him, and they discovered there was no gunpowder on his hands, none. So how was he shooting at the police if there was no gunpowder on the hands of either hand? And they claim they put the two guns in this young boy's hand. And unfortunately, see, we don't fight unless it's a member of our family. Then we ready to fight. We want you to drop everything you're doing and help me. That's how they do. I'm just that way. I don't care who it is. You know, if it happened to you, it's happened to me. I'm part of whatever it is, and you don't even have to come out for my protest or nothing if you don't want to. I really don't care. What I care about is showing them and showing the administration, showing law enforcement that I'm coming. I don't care who it is, and you don't want to deal with me on that level. So that's really what I do here. And I stand up for people who can't stand up for themselves, who won't fight for themselves, you know. And that go for the school system, that go for the city government, that go for law enforcement. I don't care who it is. And law enforcement know that if they call me, somebody call me, I'll be there. You know, and they don't give me all that lip, which is the good thing.
Reverend Pinckney, Reverend Pinckney, we may have some questions from the Wisdom Table participants, and they can feel free to ask or comment.
Absolutely.
Hi, Reverend Pinckney.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And how are you doing? How's Mrs. Pinckney?
Oh, she's doing great. She's doing great. She's sitting on top of the world. I'm at home now, so you know. Yeah. But you know, I'm still out here working and fighting and doing everything I guess a normal person should be doing.
Now, I saw her in a video once. I became familiar with you and what you were going through, because I listened to the Utrice Lead show.
Okay.
And that was maybe 2-3 years ago. I discovered that you came out of jail, and there were no charges. You know, it's almost like I won't say it's a mystery. It's an unbelievable story, but I know it was true. You know, and I don't know if I have any questions because that sitting
well,
here.
Let me tell you that. Here's what you want to know that is true. Yeah. They voted 6-0, the Supreme Court, that these folks was lying all the time. That's what you want to know.
Yeah.
You see, if you can compute that, and you know, now they walk around here with mud all over their face. And everything. Let me say this one quick thing before I go. See, when I first got convicted, the county clerk went to the Republican meeting and made the announcement that Pinckney has been convicted. Like it was, like I'm Sam Gowdy or somebody. You know, I'm the biggest gangster that ever lived. And they gave her a 5-minute standing ovation, like she did something. You know, she's a clerk. That's all she is. And that wasn't good enough. The sheriff wanted to get some of that too. So he stands up and said, we convicted Pinckney and we're gonna send him to prison and for a long time. And they gave him a standing ovation. So I had the pleasure of going to the county board commission meeting. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And they have just so happened to be there. And they doing a documentary. And the cameras was rolling, and I gave it to him. I gave it to him like that. I said, you know that standing ovation y'all received? Y'all need to give it back. I said, you know, y'all need to give that standing ovation back. You, clerk, Sharon Dyer, you, Sheriff Bailey. See, you don't intimidate people in my community. Because I'm not going to stand for it. You should have saw the look on their face. They turned redder than the sun. I said they were so red that I mean, you just would have to be there to believe it, you know. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And listen, we're still battling. But listen, I'm here, I'm home, I'm happy, I'm rolling, and I'm so happy to be on Leroy's show.
It's actually I'm the host, but it's a show that belongs to the senior citizens. Just one more thing. You have a question?
Well, I have a comment, and what you've gone through, Reverend Pickney, reminds me of Jeremiah and the cistern. King Zedekiah was against him, and I just remember also what is written, that blessed are you when they persecute and revile you, for so they did unto the prophets. And you know, I admire your work and your courage and that, and just keep on fighting. You know, still is news. The old biblical things are still news, and you're still a prophet.
Hey, you know, and thank you so much for that, because I tell you, we need all the encouragement we can get. You know, one of the things I didn't get into is that now I do have the biggest church here in Benton Harbor, with a school where I'm training people to become electricians, plumbers, and carpenters, and pipe fitters, and bricklayers. And we just completed one phase of the electrician class. And I'm trying to change the mindset of the people more than anything. I want them to start thinking differently, more about themselves, and we're going to become a family and build a foundation so we can have stability. Because when they come after one of us, they're coming after all of us,
right,
whether we like it or not.
That's right. That's right, brother. And the last thing, I know you got to go to your next assignment. When you look at yourself and your line of ancestors, father, grandmother, grandfather, where do you see that same spirit that you demonstrate coming from?
It really came more or less from my spot.
Incoming call.
See how this thing works.
And he was
Doc,
during that time.
No.
He was the only one.
Reverend Pinkney, I
Yes.
just had an interruption, so start over. I think you said it really comes from your dad. Is that what you said?
It came from him. He would come home and really be, you know, really uptight and angry, because, you know, I know the feel how they must have been punishing him, you see. And he was, you know, he taught us. He said, stand up for what's right. He said, even if it means that you're wrong. He said, I want you to stand up for what's right. If you stand up for what's right, you will make me happy. And that's where we got that. And I know that his job, in his field, that he had problems every single day with these folks. I know how white folks do when they're in control, and I can imagine him being the only black on his job and how they would treat him. And, you know, he came home, he was pretty angry, you know, and but he was good, he was smart, really, really intelligent man. And my goal was to be smarter than him, you see. And I want my son to be smarter than me. And I want to make sure that they do the things that need to be done, not for yourself, but for the next generation. And I think that we have to build from there. You got to have a foundation. You got to leave a legacy, some kind of legacy here. And I think that's the direction that I'm moving in right now.
God bless you, black man.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And I tell you,
Wait.
Anytime you want me to come on, if you call me,
Okay.
if you call me, I'll come.
Now listen, Doc, I know you got to go, but I'm getting ready to sign off, and one of the participants said, wait a minute, they got a question.
Yeah, I want to know every day, how do we find out what's happening with you, you know?
You can go to bhbanco.org. That's BH as Benton Harbor, Banco, BANCO.org.
Okay.
And you can also email me, or if you don't, my email should be on there also. If it's not, it's Banco 9342 at fbcglobal.net. And you can call me anytime at 269-925-0001. Call me. We can talk.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, and God bless
I
you with a
will.
beautiful day, brother.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a great day.
All right, peace.
Bye.
This has been the wisdom table. The wisdom table, the super wisdom table. And before we sign off, comments regarding what you heard. My brother, comments, observations. Sister Shirley came in on the tail end.
We talk about things every day, like when he was saying that, when Reverend Pinckney was saying how we have all these elected officials, and none of them are doing anything. None of them are talking about what's going on. Okay, we know how elected officials are, and we give them a pass all the time. But what happened to this man is just unbelievable. And even though I knew about him, when I sat here at the table, I was still, I could not believe what else he was saying about what happened to him, in the jail. And then you can imagine, I mean, he is a grown man who's been around and can think what is happening to our boys in those jails. And then we want to know why they're shooting up all over the place. It's happened in those jails. Those are laboratories.
What I know is that 50 years ago, Dr. King died. You see what he went through, a letter from a Birmingham jail and so many others. And it's still going on. It still is news. The persecution is still going on. And I was shocked when I heard about how everybody's rights in Detroit were just given up, and it was like a whole conservatorship. And how can you move our politicians and the people are duly elected on and set up some corporate state like that? And all of these things that happen, including the Flint, Michigan, and the water and everything. I mean, it's totally unbelievable. It doesn't sound like United States of America. But what's happening there in Michigan, I feel it's happening all over the country with I'll say it, Trumpenstein, as we call him. So, what happened to the rule of law? What happened to democracy?
So long before Trump.
Yeah,
he was part of the gang.
But he didn't cause it.
He wasn't
He's the epitome of it. Yes, right.
At that time.
Right.
He's only been in there 2 years now. So, not that I give him a pass, but we have all these other folks who
Exactly.
I in terms of Trump, the danger with us is that surface. We can say Trump, and that's not what you're saying. I'm talking about the tendency, and not go below what you see to get to the essence of it, to the why of it, to the how of it.
Exactly.
And when you begin to piece, Sister favorite last week, Sanders, right? The attorney. 30-year jail sentence for a retarded black man, young black man, touching a white woman, and he's seeing movies and seeing. That's not what she said, but the conditioning of boy has a child mind. He touches a white woman, get 30 years in jail. This is, that's what she said. Get 30 years in jail, and you say, well, how could you even do that? But we're dealing with people who do not have the same feelings and the same ethics that we have, and we go to them for justice, and it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
When I say it ain't gonna happen, it will happen in time by the man. If he didn't have the resiliency, as he said, He said, I'm not going to die in jail.
This man is amazing.
You know, I'm not going to die in jail. His resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
And then his father image. You know, if you die in here, man, you done gave up on what I told you. So we have to make, there's a holding action as I see it. This brother Leroy told me, a holding action as in military warfare. You hold off the enemy, or you try to do some things that keeps the onslaught from taking you out. But we have to have a backup plan and look at how we would run our own communities. How would we run our own communities? What kind of system would we set up for so-called homeless? Would we have homeless in our community? All right. What would we have schools that are constantly making us think that our children are dumb, and that's failing our children, preventing them from being competitors for the jobs that their children have to take in light of the condition, the economic condition in this country. And that economic condition in this country includes technology, eliminating job after job, and not training, not educating our people, any American people, for a future, a viable future. So Pinckney is an example, another example of canary in the tunnel. Canary in the tunnel. Where you send the canary down this poison gas in there.
Yeah.
When he come flying out, you say, hey, you know, we can win, but we got to stay out of the tunnel. So, in doing a talk show, when you have the opportunity of doing a talk show, you have to feed our people, have to feed us, our people, good news, and you have to feed our people entertainment, edutainment, and you have to feed our people warnings. Edutainment, information that makes us feel good. Education, how to save money, how to do this, how to do that. It basically falls in we cannot afford, this was my peeve with talk shows, still today, talk show hosts, that they don't get guests, that they talk among themselves, but they're not giving the audience, the black audience, information that they can use and guidance that they can use. My peeve with the commercial stations that are geared to our teenagers is that there's no warning system that they allow to come through and say, hey, don't jump the turnstiles, don't jump the turnstiles, don't smoke K2, don't smoke Spike, and those kind of things that is happening within the culture, but is dangerous for the culture. Don't disrespect the woman, don't disrespect your children, don't smoke around your children, feed your children decent meals. Just a general thing, and you don't hear this. So when we talk about doing a radio station, we have to do those things that is totally out of the box and foster that and get information going that will raise our people to a higher level. Anybody can do, Brother Leroy now, I believe that anyone who is sincere can do a radio show. All you have to do is get the guests and ask them 3 or 4 intro questions, and it goes from there. Because what their answers are pregnant with other questions. And you just get on, I don't care how, I heard a woman on WNYC today. I think she's from an Asian country, and she was interviewing, I couldn't understand her. You know? So what I'm saying is that don't worry that you split words and I'm gonna go and get some cheese after this show. Don't worry about how, get on and get the right questions asked. get the best guests that you can get, and the right questions, and you go from there. So, this has been the Wisdom Table. Thank you to the management of the James Weldon Johnson Community Center and the seniors who participate. And we look forward to another program next week on East Harlem Community Radio, El Barrio Radio. Thank you very much. Peace.